Hey guys. This video will be about, drum roll, the amazing atheist. Wow. I don't know if any of you have ever heard of this gentleman. He's a fine fellow on the internet. I don't think humanity has quite understood what's amazing about him, but you know, I guess that's the name he made up for himself. So I'm sure he's real proud of that. So I guess we'll go by his name that he calls himself, the amazing atheist. Now, if you've watched any of his videos for any amount of time, if you're an atheist or any hater of the God of the Bible, you've probably made it through the entire video, I would assume. If you have any moral fiber, you've probably turned the video off and quit watching after about 30-second mark, maybe more, give or take. You know, I mean, he's got so many brilliant points. It's really hard to turn away. And he's really he's really got his ducks, you know, in order. His ducks all in a row. You know, it's pretty much everything he says is irrefutable, and he puts it in such a way that you really gain a lot of respect. And of course, I'm being extremely sarcastic here, laying it on as thick as I possibly can. Yeah, so the amazing atheist. I watched a video on just a short video, and it's pretty depressing actually. Anyway, just some things I wrote down about him, and I noticed that he likes to see what he likes to do is he likes to see he really only hates Christians. He doesn't really hate a lot of other religions. It's mainly, you know, when everybody says they hate God, it's always about the Christian God of the Bible, because that's their true enemy, and they're of their father the devil, and of his lust and of his works they will do. Satan was a liar from the beginning, and you know, his children are the same way. So they're going to hate the God of the Bible because, you know, that's what they do. They know who the enemy is deep in their heart. Yeah, so like I said, I don't... If any of you haven't seen his videos, I don't know how anybody couldn't have heard of him, but what he likes to do is he will lump in, let's say, the Catholic Church and their pedophile and rapists and all the murdering that they did during the Inquisition, and he'll lump that into Christianity, you know. He's very sly that way, and he's, you know, obviously he doesn't know what he's talking about. If he thinks Catholics are Christian, my goodness, I don't know. I mean, is there a way we can give this guy a Nobel Peace Prize? I mean, we gave it to Obama. I don't know, maybe that's something we should look into. If he thinks Catholics are Christian, oh boy. Yeah, I don't know about that. But see, that's part of his agenda. See, he likes to point out everything evil about religious extremists. And you know, the God of the Bible and Jesus Christ, Christianity is not a religion, contrary to popular belief. So what he does is he tries to hunt out all the stories on the internet about, and all through history, where somebody had a belief in God and they used that to kill people or to molest people. And that's what he does. He says that's Christianity. And he hates God and he hates Christians. And he's not shy about it. But what atheists are not going to understand, and I don't know if they're going to be able to wrap their little heads around this, or whatever brain cells they have left. It says in the Bible, you hear a lot of people say, oh, well, religion is, people say about Christianity, usually atheists, because they're ill-informed and not very smart. on the subject. Christians are the most... history will show that Christians are the most murderous cult in human history. Well, in the Bible, 1 John 2:19, it says that you would not have left us if you were really one of us, basically, is what it's saying. A lot of people will say, have you ever heard an atheist say, I used to be a Christian and now I'm an atheist? You were never Christian in the first place if you ever left. If you went from saying God and Jesus are my top authority, and then you go to myself, I'm the top authority, I'm the God of my own universe, you were never a Christian, okay? Don't fool yourself. You wouldn't have left if you were truly Christian, because God would have revealed His secrets to you. He would have revealed His truths to you. That's why when atheists try and read the Bible, they say that there are contradictions in the Bible. God said that if your heart's truly in it and you ask God to show you the truth, He will show it to you. You know, you can't pick up the Bible and expect to understand it. You've got to understand everything about the Bible to understand a lot of the little things. That's where a lot of people think there's contradictions. Just like you can't pick up a chapter of some book you're supposed to read for school and flip to the middle chapter and pick out something and think you understand the whole Bible, or think you understand the book. Doesn't work like that. So here are the things that I wanted to talk about. Sorry about the glare on the screen, but it's not really important. It has nothing to do with the video. It's just screensaver. This is just me sort of venting on him. And hey, and like it says in the Bible, out of abundance of the heart, the mouth expresseth or speaketh. So, hey, it's not my fault that I have this mindset of who I think he is and what kind of morals he has, because you are what you eat, okay? If he's going to get mad and say, oh, you're twisting my beliefs, well, you know, I can only go by how you act and how you react and how you talk, okay? So, just deal with it, buddy. Get over it. He needs to grow up, first of all. After I got sick of listening to him after probably a minute or two of just curse word after curse word and just hating on people who are good people for no reason. He just hates people. Grow up, dude. I mean, my 13-year-old nephew, I can have an intelligent conversation with him. I can't imagine listening to you for more than 30 seconds at a time. It's insanity. I mean, I know 8-year-olds that have more common sense and respect for others than you do. It's really depressing. I mean, grow up. I got an experiment for people who watch The Amazing Atheist. Why don't you turn the volume down and just watch him? Just look how ridiculous his actions are. I mean, the guy's a Looney Tune, to put that very lightly. Turn the volume down and just watch him go. I mean, he's like he's like the teeth that the talking teeth, little prank toy that you have that you crank it up and you watch the teeth chatter. Except unfortunately, for him, he's got lips over his teeth and you can make out what curse words he's saying all the time, but grow up, dude. Goodness gracious. That's one of the main things that a lot of atheists do, is they just curse word this, curse word this. It's like ridiculous. I don't have any self-control. Also, you're annoying. That's my second point. On a debate he had versus the Southern Avenger, which was a terrible debate from that guy, who's apparently semi-religious, TJ, who's the amazing atheist, said, if I want to do heroin, I should be allowed to. The government doesn't have the right to tell me what I can do with my body. Okay. So that's just one thing he said. And then a few minutes later, of course, he's blaming the Catholic Church for people do drugs just because they want to, but not let somebody else have their desires fulfilled? Why is smoking heroin okay and something else isn't? This is a problem a lot of evolutionists and atheists have. They don't seem to understand where morality comes from, which is impossible to exist without God. Whether or not you want to believe it's the God of the Bible, without a God implanting the morals in our DNA and in our consciousness, we don't have morals, okay? That's why we have people who basically believe there's right and wrong, and they can disagree on as far as the limits, but evolution, which is just telling us that we're a random collection of molecules and chemicals, will never produce morals, okay? My morals are always going to be different than yours because my chemicals are different in my head and they're arranged differently, so that's why he feels that way. Oh, I want to be able to smoke heroin. But, how dare the Catholic Church cover up their molestation? Well, why can't it be right in their eyes? If smoking heroin's right in your eyes. For that matter, why can't if you want the government to stop telling you that you want to do drugs and that you should be able to do that, what's going to stop children from doing that? Why can't children smoke heroin? What's going to stop, to say, a policeman smoking crack on duty, or a school bus driver smoking heroin? And what I also wanted to say is, who appointed this guy like the, obviously he named himself the amazing atheist. Who appointed this guy he's like the spokesman for atheists? He gets just as much negative feedback from atheists and people who he supposedly tries to defend on there. They're like, they can't even stand the guy. But of course he blocks half their comments and deletes them. Even the average gay or lesbian who he supposedly supports, like he defends against Christianity, they're on there saying, dude, take it easy. Even the average gay or lesbian would take offense to half the things he says about Christians. Yeah, I don't agree that there are gay Christians and gay and lesbian Christians out there that they're struggling with what they believe and what they think is natural. You're sitting there you're hating everybody, basically. Let me say something else. Let's say, okay, Christians, we know, anybody's a Christian, okay? You've got every race, tongue, nation, lifestyle. There are Christians from every walk of life and every sexual orientation out there, okay? He hates Christians, okay? He hates Christians. He hates the God of the Bible. And yet he's sitting there making fun of Christians for, apparently Christians hate gays, even though that's not what any Christian says. And if a Christian says they hate gay people, they're not a Christian, okay? They're not a true believer in Christ, alright? But he likes to point that out. He always brings out the extremists, So, he's saying, I hate Christians because they hate gay people, which is untrue. If someone hates gay people, they're not a true Christian. Okay, well, TJ, Mr. Amazing Atheist, you hate every single person on planet Earth. Apparently. Because there are Christians from all walks of life who are Christian. You have gay people who are even Christian. Or call themselves Christian. You have black people. You have people that are in the KKK. You have black supremacists who are Christian. Everybody can say that they're a Christian. So you're saying you hate everybody in that sense. You're trying to make people who say that they hate gays to be bad. Well, there are people in all walks of life who believe in the Bible. You by definition you would hate and can't stand anybody who would consider themselves Christian. Let's see. Also, if you think about it, the amazing atheist would probably fall into the category of the worst motivational speaker of all time. Imagine him standing at a podium. Guys, no matter how hard life gets you down, you're all alone. We're all alone. There are no miracles in life, everybody. We live and we die. And if there was a God, He would forsake us all. But guys, I guess what I'm trying to say is just try your hardest, but life's probably not going to work out for you. So he would be the worst motivational speaker of all time. And I'm just going by how he acts and, what videos he puts up. If he wants to say, "Oh, you're ruining my reputation and you're saying hateful things about me," hey, I'm only going off what you admit, all right, and how you portray yourself. He would probably be the worst person in the world to be around in a hostage situation. I'm just gonna throw that out there. If you had any moral fiber, he's probably going to be someone you're not going to want to hang around more than a couple seconds. He gets on your nerves. Even an average atheist and Satanist, I don't even think Satanists like this guy. He gives everybody a bad name. He's all about hate, hate, hate. And he's really just embarrassing in general. He gives humans a bad name in general. But I think even the average atheist would say he gives atheism a bad name. And he would definitely be probably the worst parent that I've ever seen, or on YouTube at least. One of the worst parenting by his belief system and what he admits. He would probably be the worst parent. Imagine his child, and this would have to be plausible. If he plans on having kids, this is plausible. I'm sure everybody would agree this is possible of happening. Kids do have an imagination, and they do have sometimes vivid dreams about things that parents don't understand. Imagine his child coming up to him one day, "Dad, I had a dream, I believe, of Jesus and of God. And it was beautiful." And I could just imagine him saying, "That's a neat story, sweetheart. But God doesn't exist, okay? And Jesus doesn't exist. If they did, they would hate us, probably, okay? Now let Daddy finish killing these prostitutes on Grand Theft Auto, and we'll go pick up Daddy's pot, okay?" That's just how I imagine him kind of being a father. He would also be the world's worst confidant for inspirational stories, because he doesn't believe in miracles or anything, inspirational. Probably all about luck in his view. He also says there's nothing wrong with pornography, which is extremely terrible for women in general, for the things they do to women. But he says there's nothing wrong with pornography. Let's see. Also, I got a question for a lot of atheists, though. Now, they like to play the deny card. They like to deny everything. He likes to say that, first of all, let me just say this. What is so wrong? I would like for any atheist ever to explain the claim. For a second, what is wrong with somebody believing in Jesus Christ and wanting to be Christian? There's nothing wrong with that, okay? What is wrong with Tim Tebow being a role model? People are saying, "Oh, I'm tired of him being a role model." What, in treating women with respect? And standing for what he believes in and not wavering, even in the face of extreme scrutiny? For him not having sex before marriage? Is there anything necessarily wrong about that? Even if you're an atheist, what can you say is wrong about that and it's negative? Even if you don't agree with it. And I'm just using Tim Tebow as an example, because there are so many people that hate him, and he hasn't done anything. What is wrong with somebody believing in Jesus and trying to be as good a person as they can possibly be? I'm not talking about religious extremists. That's the opposite of Christianity. Persecute you, okay? Nobody's ever once explained that, what is wrong with believing in the Bible and believing and trying to live like Jesus Christ did, okay? Also, I don't see any thousands and thousands. Okay, the day that there are hundreds of thousands of atheist organizations going to third world countries and risking their lives to spread their beliefs and giving food and shelter and clothing to people, you don't see atheists doing that in large parts. I'm sure they're, Angelina Jolie donated $1 million to this charity. They do that out in the open, okay? All these people that are rich and they donate, okay, some of them genuinely do care, but for the most part, I'd say probably 95% of them, they're doing it just to have their name in the newspaper, that I did something good. Meanwhile, they're saving their riches up, 99% of their riches. You see all these people spending $150 million to make some movie. You know how much of that could have went to helping the poor? And yet they're out there making money. I mean, spending $150 million to make a movie. You don't see atheists by the hundreds of thousands going and just for the heck of it, not wanting to get any recognition, not wanting to get their name in the paper, just doing things because they genuinely care, going and risking their lives in these countries. I want to see a group of 500 atheists. We'll just say that at the minimum. Go to Iraq, go to Iran, go to Haiti, go to some of these Muslim countries. And I want you to go and spread your beliefs in a dangerous environment. But no, it's not going to happen ever in mass. Like you see all these and I'm not just trying to make Christianity to be the greatest faith-driven initiative in the world. There are a lot of religions out there that do good, okay? Mormons, there are a lot of religions out there that do the same thing that Christians do, and they go out and spread their beliefs and help people, okay? But I'm saying people who don't believe in God, and they think that this life is the only life they get. What do they have to gain from? What does evolution have to teach about being good? Okay? If evolution is true, it says only the strong will survive. Death is the hero in evolution. By definition, evolutionists and atheists who believe in evolution, and that's true, would the people who are starving, would they be considered the weak part of humanity? Wouldn't they be considered the weakest? And don't they deserve to die off by definition of evolution because they're the weak link? And they're the part of the gene pool that is not going to survive. So why should we help them? That is what evolution is about. At its core. I could care less how many people ignore that. There is no way the average atheist can deny that. They believe they have it. What's going to make them want to risk their life to go and spend their free time helping people that are in need of food and shelter and water? What's to go and make them do that? And these are complete strangers I'm talking about. I'm not talking about helping your family. I'm talking about helping somebody that's a completely different person than you, in a different nation, who speaks a different language, and you're going into a dangerous environment where there's disease and there are people being killed because they're preaching something that's different in the land that's being taught. Nobody ever talks about that. Except, how many Christians are out there doing that? It's because God tells people to do that. If we're a random collection of molecules and chemicals, and we evolved from some single-cell organism, there's no reason you should do that. Because those people that are out there dying, and they're poor, and they're starving to death, that's just how fate goes. The gene pool has singled them out. They're the weakest. They really deserve to die, if evolution is true, because they're holding back humanity. So they need to die off. Anyway, I just wanted to talk about the unamazing atheist and people like him who have nothing to contribute to society. They believe they're doing good, and they believe by lumping in all of religion with religious extremists in all religion, they believe that religion is a virus, really. And basically I'm here to call them out, and I think they're pathetic. And they should be ashamed of themselves. They need to grow up, quit cursing. I don't understand where this idea of cursing makes your point any stronger. I don't understand that, but anyway. Yeah, so I pray that if you're an atheist watching this right now, and there are atheists watching this right now, I urge you to definitely, there's some amazing videos out there, and I did not used to be a Christian. I was raised in a Christian environment. We were not living like Christians. I lived in extremely unsafe living conditions. I had an extremely hellacious childhood, so I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. We were just basically backslidden Christians, and I had to prove to myself why, if God was real, what God was real. Is it the God of the Bible? And God showed me that, okay? I urge everybody, if you're, I understand there are atheists out there right now that are saying, I agree. I think that the amazing atheist is giving us a bad name. All of us aren't like that. Most of us aren't like that. And I'm telling you, I was in your shoes at one point. I'm telling you, you will not regret going and typing in on YouTube, Kent Hovind, The Age of the Earth. Just watch it without any bias, okay? Just watch it. See what you think and come up with your own decision. Don't listen to what I say or what the amazing atheist says. The truth will reveal itself to you. And if it doesn't, well, I'm sorry, okay? I tried. Type in Age of the Earth, Kent Hovind, and just see what happens, alright? You can refute it all you want. You can refute gravity doesn't exist, okay? It doesn't mean it's not reality. So, and I want to also say one more thing. My voice is going out because I'm talking so much about this. I do not have a problem with anybody. I love everybody. I would jump in front of a bullet for anybody on this earth, okay? Even that man. A man who admits to hating me because I'm a Christian. And the things that I believe, he disagrees with. He thinks I'm an idiot. He thinks that I'm weak-minded, and he hates me because of the way he speaks out against us, Christians and people who believe in God. I don't hate this man. I forgive him. As Jesus Christ was being nailed to the cross, he wasn't cursing anybody. He was saying, Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing. That just brings tears to my eyes. How much restraint it takes to be able to do that. It brutally tortured, and he was nailed to a cross, people spitting in his face and mocking him, and he was blessing them and telling God to forgive them because they didn't know what they were doing. And I understand that now. The Amazing Atheist, things are not going to get better by hating the God of the Bible. Loving one another, no matter what we believe, and blessing your enemies, not telling them to go to hell. Alright? I forgive everybody out there who's ever blasphemed Christians. I don't hate anybody. I disagree with a lot of things because they're wrong. And I know on a spiritual level what it's doing to our country and the world, and what it does to your soul and to your behavior. So, all the people out there who are giving Christianity a bad name, quit hating people. Thanks for watching, and God bless everybody.